Welcome to the Everyday Fan, where I talk about everyday issues about women's basketball, the WNBA, and all the teams and players involved. And this is just from someone who is an average Jane. I know nothing about basketball. I didn't grow up, I didn't play the game in college or high school. I just had a love for the game. So, dating back years ago, I used to watch women's basketball, and I'm going to date myself because I'm going to be transparent here. This is just me talking to you. I used to watch women's basketball back when Nancy Lieberman played for the Dallas Diamonds. Okay. Yes, I'm 61 years old and I'm dating myself. It is what it is. But I hadn't watched basketball in decades. A friend of mine last year contacted me and he's like, Alicia, you've got to watch this girl. You've got to see this girl. And I'm thinking, he was a musician, so I'm thinking it was a music-related conversation, right? Some new up-and-coming star. It wasn't. Well, she was an up-and-coming star, all right, but she was an up-and-coming star in women's basketball. And her name was Caitlin Clark. I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was. Never heard of her. Didn't follow her career in Iowa. Didn't know anything about her. But he sent me a link. And he kept saying, did you watch the link? Did you watch the link? And I'm like, no, haven't got around to it yet. He's like, watch the link. So I watched the link. And I watched it again. And then I went on and found other things. He's like, she came out of college, straight out of college into the W. She didn't do well the first, one quarter of the season. And then she just turned it on. And then she broke 62 records. And I'm thinking, all right, so who's this girl? So I started watching. I was mesmerized. I gotta tell you, I was completely, totally mesmerized. I was in awe at what she could do. 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after logo in a timely manner. She drew me in like a drug. Every time I saw her, I wanted more. I wanted more and I wanted more and I wanted more. So I started looking her up on YouTube, finding old games, finding old shots, finding things about, people, podcasters posting about her. It was incredible. I was hooked. Then I could not wait till this season came around. I immediately got a league pass to the WNBA so I could watch the games. And I was totally mesmerized. I was so excited. I was thinking, if she could do what she did in only 2/3 of one season last year, breaking 62 records, what's she going to do this year? I could not wait for May 17th. And then it came. And there were issues from day one. There were issues last year. She was dealing with team division bullshit that she shouldn't have had to deal with her rookie year. She was dealing with fame. She was trying to handle. She was the golden goose. She was the face of the league, really. People were coming. She was selling out crowds. She was the draw. In a time when women's basketball was dying, it was in the red year over year over year. They were losing money year over year. Until Caitlin Clark, a little girl named Caitlin Clark, came on board. And then all of a sudden, everyday people just like me started watching. They started buying season tickets to their area games just so they could see Caitlin Clark come to town. It was amazing. I could not stop watching her. And then I started finding other teams. I started finding other players that I absolutely fell in love with. Nafisa Collier. Fee is incredible. Watching Fee is like watching a ballerina. She has a presence on the floor. She has an eloquent delivery. I have never seen anyone be as productive as Fee is in every aspect of the game. As far as I'm concerned, she should get MVP. She is the MVP currently in the standings, and I think it's a good choice. Once I found Fee, I found other people. There was Sabrina Ionescu. There was Jonquel Jones. There was AB, Aaliyah Boston. I just started finding players all over that I wanted to watch. There was almost someone on every team that I wanted to watch, that I wanted to see. And then the new rookies came in. Paige Becker and Citron and Kiki Arifin and Amore and all the others that were coming in that were being drafted to the WNBA teams as rookies, and I couldn't wait for the new season. But now we have issues. Now we have problems. And the one thing that I saw last year is I was watching the games and I knew right away, and I'm an everyday person. I don't know everything about basketball. I couldn't coach a team. I couldn't get out there. I don't know what the zone patterns are or defensive patterns or who needs to be where. I know nothing about that. But I knew enough to know when fouls were being had but not being called. And I knew enough to know when a flagrant foul was being had and not being called. All of a sudden, Indiana Fever didn't get the favor of the whistle. They were being allowed to do to Caitlin Clark whatever they wanted to do. It was apparent. Why? Why is there such a referee problem? My only guess is this came from the WNBA. It had to have. This had to have come from the WNBA. The refs weren't going to be stupid enough to show bias on their own. Or are they? That's a good question. That's food for thought. We'll put a pin in that. So then I find out that the refs, some of them were from high school. They hadn't even coached a collegiate basketball game. So you have this young team of referees that didn't even know what they were doing. But even I know what I would be doing if I were out on the floor and I took the job as a referee and I was standing 3 feet away from a flagrant foul, but I didn't blow the whistle. Come on, really? Really? So last season we knew that there was a ref problem. It started with the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. And then this season, they knew they had a perception issue with the referees. So what did they do? They brought in at halftime and they did a dog and pony show and showed everyone just how the referees were trained, how much they knew, how much training they had to go through, how hard it was. No. And I had already had a discussion with my friend, and I told him, I said, they have a perceived issue. They're going to have to get out in front of it. So it'll be interesting to see just how they try to get out in front of it this year. And that was what they tried to do. They put together a halftime show regarding the referees and how much training and education those referees go through. But the bias was still there. And it was even stronger now than ever. And now it was leaking to other teams. Why was this happening? Why now were other teams not getting called fouls? Why were certain players getting called for touch fouls and others not getting called for flagrant fouls? Is it because betting came on board? Online betting for the WNBA? Is it because money's involved? Are we rigging games now? Are we rigging standings? Are we rigging the outcomes of the standings for the money on the games? That's a question. We'll put a pin in that one. So now, here we are, 2025. We are, I'm not even sure how many games we are in, but we still have the perceived referee problem. The coaches are seeing it. The teams are seeing it. The players are seeing it. And the fans are seeing it. Kathy Engelberg coming out and issuing a statement last week saying that they had some of the best refs in the world, that there's always room for growth and opportunity. So here we go again. They still have the issue. They still haven't fixed it. The calls that the refs are making are determining outcomes of games, which is influencing the standings. We have flagrants that should be flagrant twos, and you should be seeing ejections because we have dirty players. Yeah, dirty players. There's several of them out there. And you know who you are. You know who you are. And I know who they are. And most likely you know who they are. And yet they don't get ejected from the game. We have players that are losing teeth. We have players because of elbows to the mouth. We have players that are getting pneumothoraxes, multiple ACL injuries, multiple knee injuries, rolled ankles for landing zone violations. We have all of these things going on. About the only thing I can see that the refs are enforcing are the landing zone. You have fingernails being used as weapons. First of all, artificial fingernails and long fingernails should not be allowed during the season of the WNBA. They just shouldn't. They are being used as weapons, and eyes are being damaged or attempted to be damaged. Teams are now attempting to have enforcers to take people out. Is that really what the NBA wants to be known for? Really? Is that what you want to be known for? You want this golden goose that's been laid in your lap. For the first time, the WNBA is making money. You're in the black, you're selling jerseys, you're selling out, you're getting viewers that you've never gotten before. Millions of viewers, actually. You are viewers just like me, everyday fans. You have all this revenue coming in from all of these different places. Teams are now experiencing all of these positive things in their cities, yet the players are playing like they're children that are being unsupervised by parents. And they're getting away with whatever they want to get away with. Well, I can tell you as an everyday fan, if this continues, you're going to lose me next year. I'm not going to watch. I don't like the fact that the W is allowing everything to go on, that everything's become so political. Betting has been let in. Online betting let in for the W. They make a commercial before every game. So there's betting, which is that breeding different calls from refs? Are the W's fixing games? What's happening here? Why can't we just let the players play? Why can't the players play clean? I know it's a physical game. I get that. There's going to be things happen. But when you take a forearm and you intentionally clothesline someone to the neck or trachea, that should be a flagrant right there. They should be out. That should be a flagrant 2. They should be ejected from the game. Total ejection. When you have someone that grabs someone's hair from behind, they can't even see, and pulls them down to the... That could have caused a serious injury, not only to her neck, but to the other parts of her body, depending on the way she hit. When you have someone body checking Caitlin Clark and she does not even know it's coming and nothing's called, that's an issue. How can players defend themselves when you're allowing this to happen? Those should be automatic ejections, automatic fines. And I'm not talking $400, $1,000. I'm talking fine the players, fine them where it hurts. And then not only fine the players, fine the teams. Fine the teams. Because the teams are going to get tired of paying out the money when players do dirty things. The coaches are going to start saying, if you don't stop your crap, I'm going to bench you. That is the only way we're going to get control of what is going on now. What is going on now is ruining the league. It's ruining the game. We're allowing race issues to come in. Black versus white. Now it's lesbian versus straight. It seems like there's division in every locker room. Division amongst the league, division amongst the WNBA. They are not even trying to get a handle on any of this. What happened to basketball? What happened to coming to see a great game? What happened to great players doing great things? You know why Fee is really one of my favorite players? Because she comes in, she does her job, she does it quietly, she brings no drama, she's not a dirty player, she just excels in what she does. And watching Fee Collier is just, it's as intoxicating to me as Caitlin Clark is on her logo threes. But it's throughout the whole entire game. She's got game on every end. And then we have Paige Beckers, we have Citron, we have Kiki Arifin, we have all of these rookies that are coming up. And what have they come into? They've come into a league that has been spawned or rebirthed by a young girl named Caitlin Clark. And once you have so much popularity so quick, what happens? Jealousy. Then the hatred comes in. Caitlin is doing for women's basketball, in my opinion, and these are all my opinions, and you know what they say about opinions, everybody's got one, and I said that nicely. Caitlin Clark is doing for women's basketball what Taylor Swift did for the music industry. She's not quite there yet, but she's getting there. She's brilliant in what she does. She has a business mind. She thinks about things. The players have all benefited from Caitlin Clark, but they're biting the hand that feeds them. Literally. She's gotten higher salaries, chartered planes, viewership, sellouts. She's gotten everyone interested in basketball again. Everyone interested. in basketball. You were in the red, now you're in the black. I don't know what the back offices look like financially. I don't have privy to that information, but you're in a much better place than you were. I can tell you that. With merch sales, everything that's going on, the contracts that are coming in for views, for national syndication, for TV, and everything else. You've got to be in a better place than you were 2 years ago. But we keep allowing it to happen, and now what's happened? Indiana Fever, especially after kind of the Dwana, Bonner, Arie McDonald debacle, Indiana Fever, they're hated. They're hated for whatever reason. Is it Stephanie White? Is it her lack of her coaching ability? Is it how she's coaching? Is it the fact she has an ego? Don't know. Don't know. All I can see is last year what Caitlin was doing versus this year what Caitlin is doing. Caitlin is capable. We've seen it. We've seen three-pointers and logos in 38 seconds. We've seen triple doubles. We know she's capable, but she's been injured more than she's been on the court. Are they injuries? Don't know. Don't know. Is Stephanie White sitting her out? Is there a problem? Don't know. The team's not going to back her. You have, in my opinion, Aaliyah Boston, who her and Caitlin used to be like this. Aaliyah has now had to form a country, and she's Switzerland. She's got the blacks versus the whites that she has to try to deal with. She has the new players coming in versus the old players that are there. She wants to keep the coach happy. She's done a real good job of sitting on the fence and walking down the middle. She doesn't say much. She's very eloquent when she does say something. There just seems like there's a string between Caitlin and between Stephanie White. And I don't know what it's all about. Caitlin is not playing to her capabilities, and I don't know why. I don't know why, if it's Stephanie White is running a different game than what Caitlin is used to. But you have a younger team, and I gotta say, Indiana Fever going into this season had high expectations of possibly a contention at the championship. Now you're seeing a contention at one of the lowest playing teams ever. I'm talking to the front office here. What are you doing? What is the W doing? What is Kathy Engelberg doing about the perceived problem? Why can't she just say, we have a problem, we need to admit it, we need to bring a solution to the table, and this is how we're going to fix it, and roll it out to the fans? Why can't there be a rule that there's no fingernails? You have to have them cut a certain length because they're being used as weapons, whether they're artificial or whether they're natural. I don't know. That would make too much sense. Why can't flagrant twos be called and players be ejected? They're not. I can tell you this, I'm not going to watch next year if it continues like this, because the W and all the organizations are ruining it. I want to see this industry grow. I want to see it do well. I would like to go to games and feel like I could go to games. But right now, everything is up in the air. So these are my thoughts. Welcome to my channel. I'm just an everyday fan.